Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Tuesday, it's Daryl here. It's 4 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. I don't even know where to begin. I feel like I'm living in an alternate reality. I've said this about 100 times already. Just when I think I've seen the most absurd, the most appalling, the most horrifying thing from this president, it's the next day, and it's gone up another level or two. And once again, here we are. I don't even know where to start with this. All right, a couple of videos ago, I made the video talking about talking about the question, is Trump really sick? That was the video. And I talked about how unless this president is completely bedridden, he's going to need his fix. He's like an addict. That's what I see. Being an ex-addict, I see a man that has to get this fix. This is his drug, and this is his drug of choice. The adrenaline, the feedback he gets from those cameras, from the public, from his adoring fans, that is a drug to him. Without it, he's going to go into depression. He's going to have withdrawals, and I'm not even kidding about that. And I didn't know how right I was. Yesterday, he had to hop in his car, hop in the limo, and go get a fix, drive around, and that's all. That's what that was. That's what that was. You see him I don't know what you guys see when you see him waving out that window with his face against the window, but that's what I see. I see a man getting his fix, a junkie getting his fix. And then we move on to Monday, and I feel like I'm living in the Twilight Zone. You guys know the Twilight Zone, the movie, where there was a bigot, and he was in a bar, and he was putting down people of color and everything. And then all of a sudden, he was transported to like 1940s Germany, and he had to live through being chased through the swamps in Louisiana by hounds and white people. And, he was put in the position of somebody that was facing racism themselves, kind of putting in their shoes. It's one of the scenes from one of the vignettes, I guess you call it, from Twilight Zone, the Twilight Zone movie from years ago. That's what I feel like I'm living in now. That's what I feel like the country has turned into, like that 1940s Germany. I'll get to that in a second. All right, so he tweets and he does a video from the hospital saying that his speech, his vocabulary, his syntax is that of a elementary school child. The way he talks about, well, this isn't book school. This is real school. And I've learned a lot, and I'm going to share it with you guys. You don't need to be afraid of COVID-19. And so for 3 days in basically another version of the White House, Walter Reed Hospital, he claims to have learned everything there is to know about COVID-19, and he's going to let us in on it. Then last night, he gets released. He gets released from the hospital. I think it just highlights his complete, it's all about him, and his complete lack of consideration for the rest of the country. We're approaching a 250,000 dead Americans. We're about 210,000 dead Americans. Let me skip to yesterday afternoon. I talked to a very close family member. I can't say exactly who. Person I probably love most in this whole world. She's in her 70s. She's a Trump voter. And I was surprised because she thought what he's doing is stupid. And I see cracks in her Trump facade, in her support of this man. She thinks what he did is stupid. She thinks what he's doing is stupid. And as I'm looking at her, I think about if this family member of mine in her 70s were to contract COVID-19, would she have access to these drugs? Would she have access to a whole team of physicians, to these steroids, to these drugs that are only given to dying or the worst case patients? He had world-class drugs, everything available on this earth to him. Would my family member get that if she were to contract this? Oh, absolutely not. She'd be told to go back home until she needs a ventilator. And it'd probably be a worst case scenario, being in her mid-70s. That's what happened to my family member. As I watched her speak yesterday, that's exactly what was going through my mind. So Trump tells people like her, the rest of the Americans that still support her, don't worry about it. Don't fear it. And he strips off his mask. His 19 people now, 19 people around the president so far have tested positive. And it's like there's no consideration for it's all about him, the superhero. Look at me, you know, and it's this whole sacrifice your lives for me and this country kind of thing. His complete lack of consideration for anybody but himself. The danger that he's putting America in. This was my worst case scenario when this all started. Worst case scenario would be that for one reason or another, he would get a little sick, but get better or appear to get better quick, which would telegraph this idea to his supporters that this is nothing. This is the flu. This is a hoax. You can get by it. Don't worry about it. That was my biggest fear. And sure enough, it's come true. I have a link down below to an Esquire article, and it sums up my opinion on this perfectly. There's a link down below. This is one of the best articles. One of the articles that sum up my feelings the best. And like I said, I don't usually push an article this much, but you guys should read this because it sums up my feelings exactly. The downfall of America right now. It talks about, well, I'll let you guys read it. All right, so let me go to him standing. So this whole thing was timed to be on the 6:30 news last night, to the minute, to the second. It was timed so that the news would switch over to him winning against COVID. Don't worry about it. It's nothing. Stripping off his mask and the disservice he's doing to the country. And again, it's just all I see is a narcissistic, arrogant fool. You know, to me, the picture couldn't have been any clearer. And then you see him up on the portico or the balcony. And if you watch closely, you can see the orange. They must have had a hard time applying his orange spray, his orange Bondo, his orange paint or whatever it is, because you can see the pale white all here and here, and you can see spots of it around his nose, around his eyes, more than usual. And he's standing there, and I'm in disbelief. You know, this is all staged for the American public, their superhero. Maybe I'm immune, he says. So he is the superhero. The disservice this does to America, to our scientists, to the doctors, to the people who got sick, the people who have died, the people who are going to get sick, it's just a complete lack of regard for everybody else but him. Look at me, I'm a superhero. You don't have to worry about this. I survived it. Ignore it. Get back to work. Get back to the slave pits. Get this economy up. Keep me in office. You see that, how his family is warned through all these books and stuff, that he will sacrifice anybody and anything for a second term. And you see this now. All right, so you see his face in the orange paint. And as the helicopter takes off, you see him back up, and you see this dainty little flap of his hair perfectly arranged, like a baseball cap coming out. And he's trying to keep it level and perfect. And he stands back, and you see him trying to level his head so the air hits it just right, so his hair doesn't get mussed in the least. And he backs up out of range a little bit against the flags, so the helicopter wind won't muss his hair up. It's got to stay right at this exact level, the orange paint. And I just watched this in horror at the decline of my country, at this spectacle, this spray painted narcissist with his dainty hair pushing this alternate reality. This reality that COVID's nothing. Doesn't, you know, and it's just a slap in the face to the 210,000 people that have died. It's just a complete slap in the face. Like they didn't really die of COVID. It was something else. It's just a complete diss to all of them. No regard to all the people that are going to catch it in the future. No regard to the people around him, the photographers. It's just all about this spray-painted, narcissist, third world strongman on his balcony with his spray paint and his dainty little hair not getting mussed up. I have never been more embarrassed, more just in disbelief and appalled and disgusted with my freaking country. We yet to see how the Trump supporters are going to take this. I was surprised. People around me, the older people, think he's a fool. I still haven't seen their complete support. I see it waning. I still don't know. I don't know if they'll still vote for him. But I was surprised that they even cracked that much, because they believe that this is real. They think he's an idiot. I imagine the younger people that aren't as susceptible to this illness are going to go bite right into it. And this is nothing. And we're probably going to see a surge across all the red states as they all strip their masks off like the president. Can this be good for the country? I don't see how this could possibly be good for the country. This is no hoax. This is no, tell the 210,000 people that this is a hoax. Tell their families that this is a hoax. It's nothing to worry about. I'm appalled. I'm beyond. All right, I'll be back later with another video when I can get across a little better than I am now. All right, you guys have a good Tuesday.